minutes, yeah? This is important. And we will also review this part in particular with Geshe Tashi Dorje, Infinite Wisdom, next week in the same back channel. We'll do a quick review. Geshe Tashi Dorje will answer any of your questions. We're trying to get him a translator. If not, it'll just be like smiles and you got to pretend you know the answers.
It'd be really good if you're on the Tibetan track.
Yeah, if you're doing the Tibetan track, that'll be perfect. Yeah. And so next week, same time, 7:30 would be fantastic. We'll do a review of the purification, which I'm about to cover now. A few of the other stuff that we covered already. Geshe Tashi will answer some real questions about practicality. And then I invite you to do the final exam with the best knowledge you have. There's something nice about doing that. And that should take 20 minutes. And then we can just have joy. We will also be doing a ritual. Can I have the envelopes? We'll also be doing a ritual because I'm about to cover an extremely profound thing, I think. If what we've been talking is true, if somewhere in you is the projection of your every existence, every happiness, every unhappiness, and all the neutrality that happens in between, the background color to the wall, if everything's coming from you, in the storehouse of who you are, placed there by you, the recorder, in the three main flavors, and there's a lag time between planting and sowing, and reaping, sowing and reaping, and it's understanding that lag time and getting some faith that, oh, I see how that works. Once you live long enough, you get to see that, yeah? Then you should be extremely excited of every single wisdom that you have inside of you to understand how to manipulate your world. Because this means if things are blank, they could be anything. They truly have infinite potential to be anything, including you. You don't have to be a human. You don't have to be this kind of human. This takes you into a sci-fi world. You don't even have to be a human contained in this form, a being contained in this form. If you narrow it down and you've done enough meditation and you know the subtle part of you and how that's creating your world, and if you knew what to plant, you could plant no war. No hurt. Zero suffering. Complete love. Utter bliss. No memory of hurt. And it would be a truth. So this is beautiful. But then if what we're saying is true, then every stupid, ignorant, retarded thing you've ever done is also in you. And you want to know where the toothpaste screaming unhappiness comes from? It's you. And if you don't live just one life, you have a bag of karma, black and white, a bag of impulses producing this whole bag of things. And it could be anything. It could ripen at any time. You've walked into the field of your mind. You now recognize the forest in front of you, amazing beautiful trees in the distance, weeds and grasses and flowers, and everything is you. You want to go digging in this massive forest for all the seeds that are going to turn into weeds and thorns and hurt. And you want to chop them down. You want to neutralize them in the ground. So the practice of purification is a holy thing. Not outside of you, for you. For every moment of hurt you experience in yourself and others. Particularly in others. We live in a world, we chop each other up. We hang beings we call food. Chop them up. They had mums. We think it's okay. You could create a world where it would be sick to think that you could chop a living thing up and put it in your gut. No judgment, just the reality. If you were that being, you wouldn't want that. So let me talk about this thing called the four forces. If you understand that your world is your karma, then you must have inside of you some collection of things that are going to produce negativity. What do you think is producing your aging? What do you think is producing that silly boyfriend? So the first one is called the foundation force. I'll go to the deepest meaning. Some meanings talk about the foundation force, saying maybe you've offended a being or something and you're doing a foundation to think of that being. But the real meaning of the foundation force is knowledge, refuge in emptiness and karma. Understanding where things come from, knowing the system. It's called foundation force because when you fall, you need to push against something. And you want to push against knowledge. You want to push against truth. So the deeper your understanding of taking refuge, meaning what can protect you? What protects you from the suffering of the evil toothpaste? Understanding that the toothpaste does not have the power to make you suffer, that it was forced upon your perception based on what was inside you, karma, because that thing is infinite potential, it is blank, that right now it's working as the vehicle of your unhappiness, but it is not the source of your unhappiness. This is refuge. Refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha means the emptiness of your own mind. Your mind does not have a nature of the way you are experiencing it. Buddha nature means the emptiness of your own mind. The emptiness of your mind means your mind does not have from its own side the nature to be the way you are experiencing it. You are not Hector, you are not Noah, you are not Stephen, you are not Peter. This is not your mind. You are forced to experience it this way. Your Buddha nature is the fact that your mind is empty of having any kind of quality, just like that of a Buddha. Buddha nature. The Buddha's mind is empty of having any experience, any quality from its own side, just like your mind. Understanding this is the beginning of the foundation force. Understanding karma projected onto that emptiness. That something produced you to have an experience of being human. If that's true, you could have an experience of being Buddha, Jesus, Mary, Mother Teresa, or more. It's empty of having a nature from its own side. This is taking refuge, understanding the mechanism of what's producing your world. This is the foundation that you push yourself up against any dark energies in your karmic pool. So, I want to make sure I do that. Push against, good. The second force, we got that? So, you find in your storehouse of karma, what is the worst thing that's preventing you from complete freedom? What is your worst habit? Is it self-doubt? Is it self-hate? Is it jealousy? Is it anger? What is it? That's a karma growing in itself. You would grab that bastard, you would place it in your consciousness, and you would look at it with karma and emptiness, and you have the foundation force. You must do that. You can do it in a ritual, or you can do it in your mind, but this is the beginning of purifying that thing. Yeah? Or, let's take an example. I've stolen paper from my office. I want to clean that karma. Yeah? You think of the emptiness of the nature of that deed. Karma and emptiness. There is no nature in the paper to be a bad thing to take it away. But if it forces an equal and opposite result, I will not have paper in the future. Emptiness and karma. It must produce that. Yeah? So you grab that. Now you have an understanding of the mechanism. It will cause you suffering. Yeah? So the next part, you do the destruction force. Nampar Sunji Patop is the Tibetan word. And the Tibetan word is a powerful word. It's the same word for rip out at the source. It's the same word for rape. It's a strong word. Yeah? And this word is the power of regret. So you move from the foundation, the understanding of cause and effect, and the emptiness of things. You got me so far? And then you look at that deed and you generate this revolting regret. And let me just clarify, it's not guilt, it's not judgment, it's clean, calculated, planned regret. It means you must experience the result of that action. All things being equal, you must experience this. And because it grows in your consciousness, you're probably experiencing it bigger the longer it sits in you, stronger the longer it sits in you. When you get this idea, it should fill you with a vomitous, revolting feeling. The regret is, I don't want that suffering. The example they use in the scriptures is 3 guys go to a bar. It's not a joke. They go, they both ask, they all ask for a drink. The barman pours the 3 drinks from the same bottle, and they all knock it down, celebrating, we're very happy. The first guy starts choking. They're all like, are you okay, you okay? He topples over and dies. And they're like, what's happened? There's confusion. The second guy goes, oh, something's wrong. And it becomes very apparent that they've drunk poison. The second guy dies. The third guy begins to realize, I'm next. I must experience the same result. The feeling of the third guy, that's regret. That's this feeling. This, I must experience the result of this action. So you've got to generate, so here you are, you understand the nature of the mechanism of what causes karma to ripen, emptiness. You recognize the flavor of the karma you're about to purify. You think about, I stole, I'm really going to not have these things in my life. Or I've hurt life, or I've cheated, or whatever it is you're purifying. You grab it, you think about karma and emptiness, you generate the understanding that you must experience the result. And you get a vomitous, sick feeling that if you're not doing something about it, you must experience the result. The third one is called the restraint force, and this is why purification is so difficult. It can happen, but it's difficult. It means you don't do it again. It's so lovely. You refrain from doing that thing again. Stop stealing. Stop hurting life. And we are such addicts of our mental behavior. Now, if it's a serious thing, so you've killed somebody, or you've hurt somebody, or you harmed your mother. The one that I think about when I explain these things is, I'm a teenager, I'm all of 15, my mother comes and tells me to clean my room. I'm like, leave me alone. She's yelling at me, and I don't know my own force, and I push her, and she topples over the bed and falls on her face. When I think about purification, I think about that one. It's such a strong memory for me. If it's a thing like that, you can say, I can vow not to do that again. For the rest of my life, I will not hurt my mom. Yeah? If it's a mental habit, particularly a sick one, like a one that's so obvious in you, like I'm jealous a lot, if it's that one, then you make a promise, and this is where the verbal instruction upon the text is so important, to have a verbal unbroken lineage from master to master that explain to you what this means. This is one of those examples. It's followed in the masters of our lineage that say, you promise not to do that action for a specific period of time. And the example in the scripture say a year, a month, a day, a minute. Yeah, and sometimes I promise not to be covetous about somebody, and I'm sitting there doing my ritual, and before I finish, I've broken it. It doesn't last 30 seconds, because your mind is sick if it's got this kind of addiction. And every effort towards it lets you grow it. I'm not going to do it for 2 days. I'm not going to do it for a week.
What comes after the 2 days?
You do it again.
You just go do it again?
No. Why would you not promise to do it forever?
Because you only have so much willpower, you have it.
If you know that you would break your willpower and you will do that act, you are destroying the functionality of purifying by adding lying to your pool of negativity. Not only normal lying, but really important lying, because this is a big karma. Remember we talked about what makes a karma really important? So, but this doesn't mean that you go, okay, I'm going to do it for a minute, I'm not going to kill things for a minute, and then I'm clean. Yeah? If it's a habitual pattern, that's why I'm saying there's two things here. The example from one of my holy teachers is that they were involved in an abortion when they were younger. And that's what made them, that's one of the things that said, I will take vows to be a monk, so I will never get close to making a life, therefore never get close to breaking a life. That's a lifetime. That's a strong restraint force. Yeah? I will refrain from doing that activity, and you choose whatever you know, because the next time you, for example, let's say it's jealousy, can you guarantee me you're not going to feel jealous in the next 24 hours? You can say you can try, right? Yeah. But how long can you guarantee yourself you won't have jealousy?
3 hours, 2 hours.
Right. And that's an awesome, strong, powerful karma planted there. And relax. It's nice. Yeah. And then let me give you the fourth force. So we got the restraint force. That one is why it's hard. Otherwise we'd all be purifying and we'd all clean. The way to stop a bad habit, don't do it. That's it. It's so lovely. But it requires the foundation force. It requires the strong emotional regret. If you remember what makes a powerful karma, you understand why. And the last one is the antidote force. And this is where you do something the opposite. So if you've hurt life, you go out and you make your business to protect life. An example would be a friend of mine who went to his teacher and said, I was in Vietnam and I shot indiscriminately. I don't know if I killed people or not. I think I might have. I don't have the direct perception. I don't have a memory that I actually shot people in the head. I don't see it, but I shot a ton of stuff out into places where I thought they were human, so I probably did. How do I clean that up? So the Lama knew that this guy's dad had some sheep, I think, and so he says, you get 2 of the sheep that you know your dad's going to kill next, and make it your business to give them a healthy, happy life until their natural death. And he did. And this became his antidote. Every moment that he fed these animals, you're planting in the storehouse of your consciousness the opposite of what you're trying to purify. So you'll get those 4 ideas. We can cover them more next week. This is a true purification. If any one of those elements is missing, it's not a purification. There's also examples in the scriptures that you can recite mantras, you can go to holy images, there's all these other things you can do as well as practices for the antidote force, and they're powerful. There's also other methods of purifying depending on your spiritual evolution. This is a practical, Western, friendly way to say, I have this energy in me, and call it jealousy, call it something. I can stop it from causing me suffering. Really, not bull, not an idea. Really, what is it for you? Self-esteem? Loneliness? Jealousy? What is it? What is stopping you? You can kill that. Really. It doesn't have a fixed nature. It's empty of having that nature. It's fooling you. You can kill it. Imagine if you removed from your mind the thing that occupies your mind 80% of the time, those reoccurring thoughts that tell you you're not good enough, you're a failure, or whatever it is for you. I know mine, you know yours. You know yours. So, you must, at the end of whatever period you do this process, you must do it enough until you generate a feeling in you that this feels clean. People do mandala offerings, people do all sorts of things whilst they're doing these 4 forces. They make a commitment to go and take care of an elderly person or something as a direct response to one big huge boulder preventing you from your path. So here's the envelopes. I'm inviting you to come back next week with this envelope filled with little notes of the shitty, negative karmas you remember in your entire existence, or the ones that are particularly nasty to you now. We will seal those things. They will be locked in here. If you choose to do the 4 forces on any of those, fill them up with the words of the things you regret. Think of the emptiness of them. Yeah? And we will do a ritual with Geshe Tashi Dorje. We will seal them with a special seal, and we will burn these things until they expire from existence on this planet and your consciousness. That you have to play. Yeah? You have to play for a week. You have to think, what is the thing? And I challenge you not to be selfish. The longer we leave being enlightened, the longer we stay here, the more harm we're doing to each other because we're ignorant. Do you see it? The longer we stay in samsara, the more harm we're doing to each other. One less Buddha, one less realized being that can open your heart. So break the pattern of one big one, or 2 big ones, whatever you got the stomach for. Remember the 4 forces. We'll give you a summary next week of the 4x4 of karma. The 4 ways of karma, it expands, etc. The 4 ways they ripen. The 4 ways to speed them up, the karma marga. The 4 forces of purification. That's the 4x4. We're going to go 4x4 on the track to enlightenment. And the 3 spheres that empower or give extra power to the way you are as you take an action, the way you do the action, and the way you observe the object towards which you did an action. With those 7 things, 7 lists, cheating, you should have a summary of this idea of karma. If you play with it and you get results, then keep coming back. If not, continue on your way, enjoy life. I invite you, please, fill it out with as many notes as possible.
Did you take these from the office?
Yeah, I took them from the office, yeah. And I'll do the same. And you don't have to be present, or you can be present. We'll do a moment where we'll do a whole bunch of mantras and Trigmamuk on top of them, and really power it up, and then free your lives. Free your lives.
So how many, 1 or 2 big ones? Or?
Whatever you are working on, whatever you got the stomach for. Yeah, if there's one big thing you regret in life that keeps coming back, meditate on it this week. Keep putting the note in there.
Or your favorite mental affliction.
Oh, your favorite mental affliction. Thank you. And then next week we'll get a wristband and a whole blah blah about it. Yeah. So let's dedicate whatever your mind did right now. You touched a part of you that hopefully was sublime, that hopefully has the hope to get out of suffering for you and the people you know. Please spread that knowledge throughout the planet and imagine it entering people that really need it, not us little comfortable people in Manhattan. Yeah.
Sashi
Pukir Jishin Metok Trang Rira Lingshin Indegim Padi Sangha Shindu Niteguargi Drogun Namda Shinla Tuparsho Idam Guru Ratnamandala Kanyatayami
Kiwa
Diyokun Sunan Yeshe Tsoksokshin Sunan Yeshe Lejunwe Rampa Kuni Topashko. And if you still have that being at the crown of your head, bring them back to life, shrink them even smaller and let them enter the crown of your head and lower down gently in front of your spine to a place just in front of your heart. Imagine your perfect teacher in your heart communicating everything you need to know. Free wisdom. Thank you for coming. Thank you. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for letting me ramble. Yeah, that was so nice.
Good job.
Yeah? Thank you.
Good job.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Yeah, so
kind of dropped. Yeah.
come anyway.
Do I have to take the test?
Yep. Just do it. It'll be fun. You won't die.
Okay.
The test will be like 15, 20 minutes. The fun will be the discussion.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay. I mean, I know a lot, but I don't.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the answer keys. Do you have a card? In there somewhere.
Card?
A card.
Oh, your card?
Yeah. And I'll send you to a website where you can download. I don't have it here.
I mean, I didn't take any of the class.
I know. I'll give you this. But you know why it's good? It's because you get to read. You don't have to understand. You don't have to. But you'll read what we ask, and you'll get some answers.
Okay. Very cool.
It doesn't matter if you. So all you have to do is. Yeah.
There's a website?
Do you have a pen?
Here.
You got a pen?
Thanks. Thank you. So the website will be. You go to. No, thank you.